Hello and welcome to another Solana tutorial. Today we're going to start with module 4 of the Solana development course. Intermediate Solana program development. Yes, we're done with the basics. We're now intermediary. Amazing. Yes. And today we're going to learn how to do local program deployment or development. Yes, local program development. That's what we're going to look at today. And my personal goal is to get my system set up in a way that I can develop Rust on my local machine, not with a playground, but here locally. And most importantly, have the auto suggestions, because that's something I'm really missing. And in today's class, we'll set up a local environment for Solana program development. I just can't read. We use basic Solana CLI commands. Oh, cool. So I'm going to teach you Solana CLI basics one more time. Then we're going to set up a local test validator. That's fairly simple and straightforward as well. But for, local development, super helpful. Well, depends what you do. As soon as you have some dependencies on other programs, DevNet is usually nicer because you have things deployed there, like the Metaplex NFT standard. We're gonna use the Rust Solana CLI to deploy a Solana program. And then we're gonna use the Solana CLI to review program logs. Okay, so that's the objectives for today. Simple enough. The TLDR. To get started with Solana locally, we need to install Rust and the Solana CLI. Now, I've already done this. If we are using the Solana playground, then we don't need to do anything and we have everything here. The Solana CLI, it's all here. It's all pre-installed. But we can get that locally to be able to develop without an internet connection, which is super helpful if you want to code on a plane or a train with bad internet. Yesterday I was coding on the train with playground and I was like, build, and then I had to wait 2 minutes and sometimes the network connection wasn't good enough. So yeah, having it local does pay off. If nothing else, then at least as a backup. And mainly we want to just learn how to do it, right? So we can see what's happening there on playground. Besides, it allows us way more configurability. We can configure more and we can just set it up in a way that we like it. And once we have a nice system, then we don't want to go back. Playground is nice to start, but I think locally is still better. Yeah, we're going to use the Solana CLI to run a local test validator using a Solana test validator command, because literally it's just one command that you need to run and then it's all done. You don't even need to understand anything about validators, really. Just run that command, done. Simple, I know. And once we have Rust and Solana CLI installed, we can just build and deploy locally. Yes. And then when we run the programs, we can check Solana logs for output, the program logs. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's get started. Essentially, we need to install Rust and the Solana CLI. So install Rust, you do from rust-lang.org. I have already done this. And the Solana CLI at docsolana.com, you find a installation guide. Super straightforward. There's even just an exe file that you can run for Windows. But when we want to actually develop, it's much nicer on Linux. If we do it on Windows, like I am right now, I'm on Windows, we can use WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux. Some Rust stuff. It just doesn't, it's not so easy to get it to run on Windows. So we just fake being on Linux. You can install that. I'm not going to do that now because I have already done that. I already have WSL installed. And this is not the Windows 10 tutorial. You will have to figure that out yourself. And there is other documentation out there if you fail. Because I don't want you to ask me questions about that stuff. Because 99% of the cases I'll be like, I have no idea. All of that stuff, just Google it. Google what your problem is and don't ask me. Then once you have Windows subsystem for Linux, you can download Ubuntu from the Microsoft Store. It's that easy. It's literally a get store in app kind of a click. And I also have that. I can now just run my Ubuntu in WSL on Windows. Easy. Now, let's get Rust. Just download it from here, and then you install the Solana CLI from here. Should be fairly straightforward and simple. And then you should have Rust and the CLI installed. Same on macOS. Pretty simple installation. I'm just gonna assume that you'll manage that by yourself. This is gonna be the prerequisite for this class. Pause the video here if you... What is my hair doing? So at this point, I assume that you have Solana CLI and Rust installed. So make sure that if you type Solana into your CLI, this is what comes up. We can be like Solana-v to get the current version. I'm on version 1.14.7. There's probably a newer one. James was at 1.10. something. What's the current one? 1.14.11. 1.14.7. So like I'm not that far off, right? But I could now easily update to a newer version using this. Nope. God damn it, Andy. Copy. And then I just download the newest version. All right, update successful to 1.14.11. There we go. Double check again. Solana version. Damn it. There we go. 1.14.11. Cool. Let's make that a bit bigger for you and full screen. My Solana CLI introduction for you. If you don't know what you do and you want to see what we have available, --help is usually a good command that gives you all the help information, or just Solana that will also print that help dialog. There are some usual flags that you have, like verbose, make it show more information. Then we have some options, like we can define a commitment. There's a config file for the Solana CLI, which defaults to the .config folder in your home directory /Solana CLI config YAML. And that file contains your default configuration, and that's mainly the URL and the key pair, which you can also provide every time if you want with -k and -u. You provide the URL, that's the RPC link, or one of those four: mainnet, testnet, devnet, localnet. So with Solana config get, you get your current configuration, and you see this is the file, this is the RPC URL, so the URL we provide, and this is the key pair path. Now, I don't think this exists because I didn't create it. If we were like Solana balance, which is one of the commands that displays as the balance, then it will say, no default signer found because this file does not exist. Right, so let's get started. The most basic commands that we can do is change our configuration for the Solana CLI. With Solana config set, we can now define, for one, the URL, which is, either devnet or mainnet beta. Boom. Then it sets our RPC URL to mainnet beta. Now, there is a better way to do this. Like, we can use the short form, just -u mainnet beta, but because that's still a lot to type, we can just say M for mainnet, D for devnet, T for testnet, and L for local. Boom. And then we're in localhost, or -ud gets us to devnet, -um back to mainnet. And that's the RPC that it uses if we don't configure a different RPC in our command, because we can always, when we say Solana balance, define some other URL, either with -u or with --URL. So far so simple. The two things that we really need here is we need to know which RPC to use and which key file to use. So the key pair. And to create a key pair, there's the Solana keygen. I probably use this more than any of the other Solana CLI stuff. My favorite way to do it is grind and then say starts with, and then, I don't know, Andy, and then a double point and how many. So let's just say 1 starting with Andy. I can do 4 letters because it starts with A up to H. Capital letter H is still easy to grind. Details, I'll spare you the details for now. It's still gonna take a while because 4 letters are a lot, but eventually we get there. So we now have a NDGXT, and this, essentially is a key pair file, which is just an array of integers, right? So that's the 256 integers that represent the private key. I can show you because I'm not going to use this one. There you go. Don't ever do it. It's really bad practice to do this and then say don't do this. But anyway, there you go. That's my private key that I will never use. Except I will right now. I can now say I want to always use this key when I do a Solana command. So I just say Solana config set and then key pair and then the path to the file. Boom. And then it's set that key pair file is set to this. I do recommend putting it in as an absolute path though, because this now is a relative path, which means it will only work if I'm in this directory where the actual key is. So I would do that again and be like, use it from my home directory / this. So it's home Andy, da 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 da. There is again a shorter way to do this. You just say -k and then whatever, right? Same thing. That's just a shorter way, so you don't have to spell out key pair. And you can configure a different config file because, for now we're always just using this default one. Let's actually look at this. Show me that file. And essentially, it's just got a few lines where it says, yeah, this is the JSON RPC URL, this is the key pair path. And then it also specifies the system program. You can apparently have other labels for special addresses. But yeah, all ones is the system program. And we can change the commitment from confirmed to processed or finalized as well. The possible values are processed, confirmed, or finalized. So those are the steps of our transaction, right? It's being processed, sent there, and is in the process. And then confirmed means, I don't even know what the exact definition is, but that's like rather quickly, a second or so. And then finalized once we have 30 confirmations or 32 or something, then it counts as finalized. So far, I've never heard that any transaction that is being confirmed has not been finalized, but that could happen. Usually the standard, I think, is confirmed. This is what you want your commitment to be in most cases, unless you want to wait for that state to be persisted before you perform the next transaction, then you might want to use finalized, but usually we want to keep it as confirmed. So that's our config file, and we could have different config files, right? And then just provide the address of the config file. Me personally, I always just use this one config file and change the keys and the URL within it because I'm quicker at that. Solana config set and then the URL to mainnet and the key to whatever I want, right? Then it prints out the info again. If I were to change the config file, such that I do it once, then to write that, apparently I need to provide both of them. So mainnet and the key. There we go. So now I have this configuration file. Easy set. Now that we have the basic configuration of our Solana CLI, we can use the actual commands. Those are all the commands. I'm just going to demonstrate the ones that I use most often, like Solana balance is a good one. It just shows you how much SOL is on the account of the current key pair. Now, obviously, there's no SOL on there, but if we were to change to DevNet, so UD, then we can say Solana airdrop, another helpful command when on DevNet, and say I want 1 SOL airdropped, then I can get 1 SOL. I think the maximum right now that you can airdrop is 2. Yes. But as soon as I go above 2, there we see request too large. Cap is 2 sol. Cool. So that's the airdrop, and now Solana balance will tell me I have 3 sol. Again, to demonstrate, I could be like Solana balance and check it for mainnet. On mainnet, I have 0. On testnet, I have 0. On devnet, I have 3. And I could also do it in here. Say I want to airdrop 1 sol, but on testnet, then I now also have 1 sol on testnet. And if I type nothing, then it takes the one from the configuration, which currently is devnet. I think that should be trivial enough to understand. So that's the balance. That's one thing that is quite helpful. Another thing that I sometimes do, because I like to copy it, is Solana address, which just gives me the public key in base 58 encoding. So the Solana address of the current key. I can also be like, give me the address of a given key and be like -k and then put another key here, like something that I created with Solana keygen new my key.json. Then here you go, you get another seed phrase shown, and that will be the public key. And I could now be Solana address for this my key, boom, then I will receive the public key. So far, so simple. By the way, I didn't say anything about that. That just creates a new random key pair. It's like grind, but it just grinds one. So that's the airdrop balance address. And then another one that I sometimes use when I work with those key pair files and I don't have them imported in the, web wallet or whatever. I like to transfer some funds. So I just go transfer. And that's why the address was nice, right? Just so I can copy that address, transfer. And then I usually get those in the wrong order just to help. And then it tells you the details. So it's first the recipient address and then the amount. First the recipient, then the amount. Somehow I always get those confused. And you can configure a lot more, right? You can have another fee payer, add a memo. Important thing, recipient and amount. So if I go recipient, oh damn it, that's me again, to this guy, 0.36 sol, because why not? And then since this guy has 0 sol, there's one more check that they do. So I need to specifically say, oh, I'm okay with that guy not having any funds. That's just a security mechanism to avoid having me send it to the wrong address. That means that the account does not exist yet, since there's no rent on it. But boom, now there is, because I sent some there. System program will claim it, so it will become a normal wallet account. And if I have the key, the private key for it, then I can sign for it. Boom, then it gives me the signature with a commitment confirmed, which, as you saw, was super quick. If I were to say -- commitment to finalized, then that would take a bit longer. See, now we have 3 of 32 confirmations. And once we're at the 32, which is max, then it's finalized, and then it will just provide me the transaction signature. That's the transfer. Once again, I can check my balance now. Yes, I had to pay those 2 times 0.36 and 2 times 0.000005 because transaction fees. We could look that up in the Explorer, but we learned that we don't need to do that in the Explorer. Also, the Solana CLI has tools to look at that transaction. Confirm-v. Boom. And then we see the details for that transaction executed. It's a legacy transaction. That's the recent block hash. Those are the accounts. That's the instruction. So that's very verbose. Pretty nice, actually. Even the CLI prints that pretty. So yeah, pretty cool. And that's all I personally really use the Solana CLI for. Account could also be interesting. Shows the contents of an account. Let's use our account. Essentially, we see the balance, we see who owns it, we see if it's executable, when we last. Their logs will also be interesting, and then all sorts of program management stuff. But I guess we'll get to that. Let's go back to James's class and see what we're supposed to learn here. Solana config get, yeah, we talked about that. There, test validators. That's the new stuff. Now, we might sometimes want to develop locally with our own local Solana cluster. You know, we just need one validator, because then we're independent from all the other clusters that there are. Maybe they're currently down, or maybe we just want more speed, right? Because with a local cluster, we can definitely pump in and out transactions much quicker, which for testing purposes is great. So we can spin up our own Solana validator by using this command, Solana test validator. If we do that, it says initializing, and boom, that's it. Now we can see it's already processing slots. That's how fast Solana is processing its slots, yes. And nothing much is happening on the entire cluster, but the validator is running. Now, if you want to see what's happening, we want to use the Solana logs command. So, of course, we want to do this in a separate console. First, we need to go to local, and then we say Solana logs, bam, and we see there's nothing there because nothing is happening. If we stream the logs from DevNet, for instance, then we get a lot of output, because obviously there's lots of transactions being executed on DevNet, and even more on mainnet. Can't even print all of that, I guess. Let's not do that and stay on local. And so that we see something here, we actually need to do something. So let's open up another console, and I don't know, just say airdrop 1,000,000, because we're on local net and we can do whatever the F we want in here. Does not have enough SOL to perform the operation. What? Insufficient funds. I cannot do whatever I want. Well, that works. Okay. Apparently even the local test validator is not set up with enough funds. But I already had, hold on. Yeah, local is strange. It gave me, I already had like a bunch of, anyway, never mind. So we can see that in the logs, we see all of those transactions. This one didn't really work so well, but then this one worked. See the signatures. It's just a system program call, and boom. I could also be like, transfer 1 SOL. Nah, I always get that wrong. Transfer 2 SOL. Boom. I did an inner command because I was too lazy to type this again. So doesn't matter. Imagine I copied the address here and I get the address by executing that command. It worked. That's the signature. We see that here, and status is okay. We can also, get more info on that. We already learned with Solana confirm this thing. And if I say confirm with the -v for V pronunciation, for verbose, then it gives me the details. It now has 10,002 because I sent them to here, to Sol in Lamperts. Bam, bam. There we go. That's that. So far, so simple, huh? That's how we use the Solana CLI with a local validator. Much text on my screen. Okay, careful, it's gonna get bright. Boom! Okay, when we stream those logs from, some of the public clusters, we might want to include a program ID such that we only stream the things that we're interested in. And we're gonna learn how to do that as well. We did talk about key pairs and balance and airdrops, and we're gonna create our own program in a second. I do want to do the streaming right now already like this. Solana logs and then the program ID. If I'm on mainnet. Now, which program gets called but not too much? Let's find out how often the token 2022 program is being called, actively used. Not that much, I guess. Nobody is sending tokens with 2022 standard. Okay, the normal token program. Wow, how is that harder to find out? Fine, I check source code then. Okay, let's use the normal token program. There we go. That's what you would expect. Some more people are using that to send transactions. Token program is probably one of the most used programs because like pretty much uses token. Everything uses tokens. Many other programs are using the program ID, and we now stream all of the logs with the token program. So that's also too much, but already better than receiving all of the transactions. You can, of course, also log everything and then grab what you want. Okay. Like the first 5 lines of whatever comes from the token program. Oh, when the token program is invoked. Oh, of course, on local that will not happen, but how about if I do logs for mainnet? There we go. Then we see that's an invocation, that's an invocation, that's an invocation. And we always just log 5 lines. I can always just log 2 lines, whatever. Or 1 line. 1 additional line. And we see which instructions are being executed on a token program. That actually looks quite cool. Most of them are transfers, but we do see the occasional mint and close account, mint to burn even, some burns. It's cool. Thaw account, cool. So yeah, there are quite a few calls to the token program on mainnet. That's just, once again, we just pipe it and then grab just the things we're interested in. But grab is outside of the scope of this video, so not going to discuss that in detail because that's Linux basics for you. Coming back to here. Let's develop our first Solana program locally. Because that's what we're here for. Not just to learn about CLI, even though we've already spent an hour doing that. While Solana Playground is enormously helpful, it's hard to beat the flexibility of your own local development environment. Yeah, as soon as our programs become big, or we have like a lot of programs, or we just enjoy developing without an internet connection, then it's nice to go local. So let's do that. Create a new project. This is where my knowledge also starts to become less. So we're just gonna go with what James says. So to create a new Rust package, you can use the cargo new lib command. Well, let's go with local sol local, and be like cargo new lib project directory name. Oh, already exists. Okay. It's a directory. Of course it is. Well, of course it is. There we go. Creating library sol local. Let's see. That created as a cargo toml and the source folder. And we have a librs in the source folder. Cool. Now, it would be nice to look at that with visual code. So let's do that. Now we are on WSL. So let's see how we can connect there. There we go. New WSL window. Or just open a folder in WSL. Let's do that. There we go. So local. Let's open this folder. That's an extension I downloaded some time ago. I guess you'll figure it out because I also don't know how I did that. I just remember that I did it. There we go. And here we are on WSL Ubuntu, and we have that very file and the cargo. I could also do it the other way around and work in a folder on my Windows system, and then with my CLI go to, mount C, and then documents and settings, and wherever I have my local file in Windows. That would be the other way. I don't know what I prefer. For now, let's work in WSL and connect Visual Studio Code with WSL directly. Cool, so we have a cargo toml and we have a libart. That's all there is for now, but that's just pure Rust. This is nothing Solana-ish yet. To make it a Solana program, we need the dependency Solana program. Now, what's the newest version of Solana program? We are at 1.14.11, so that's the same as the CLI apparently. Copy those things over. 14.11. Save that. So we've written it in there, but what does that mean? When it comes time to build, you can use cargo build. If I do this now without having an actual Solana program, what will happen? It's deprecated. Please use... so it's not the... what is that called? This is the Solana byte format. I've read about this, or I've heard about this. I compared to BPF, Google it, bytecode. Berkeley packet filter. Wait. SPF? But that's Sam Bankman-Fried as well. Oh, yes, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense that Solana has that abbreviation for its bytecode now. SPF. Not controversial at all. Solana bytecode format, I think, is a variation of eBPF. I mean, I think if we go further into detail here, then this is going too far. There's like looking at the sampler code, because essentially that's what it is. But anyway, those are the individual instructions in the bytecode. If you compile your program into bytecode, then those are the operators that you use in bytecode. Wow, cool. But going a bit too far for this intermediate, not advanced, not super pro, but intermediate Solana programming tutorial. So let's come back to this thing and let's just try SPF. And then it's downloading something, which makes sense because we didn't download any of the Solana packages. So error while loading libraries, cannot open shared object, no such file or directory. libSSL. That's the disadvantage of local development. There's always much more that you need to dig into because something is not working and then you're like, I have no idea what the hell is not working. But it's not because I don't have a Solana program, right? Even if I change this. Oops. Probably be the same thing, right? Yeah. So that's already a cargo error. Solana program 1.14.11 is here. So that's compiled. Compiling that probably makes sense, yes. That now already looks like it built my program. But build SPF still just doesn't work. Just cargo build seems like it's trying to build my program, which looks good. And then get rid of those warnings because I'm annoyed by warnings. If we don't use this, then not use this. Hello world. First locally developed Solana program. Good. Let's just deploy this and run this. Build. There we go. And then we can come back to the Solana stuff. Solana program. This has a bunch of stuff like close. Careful with that. Deploy. That's what we're gonna want to use. So Solana program deploy. And then we need the path to the SO. So that's the bytecode. Let's see. Target debug, because that's the mode we deployed. Then we have the lib sol local so. If we were going by James's course, James, can you be like, oh, first of all, cool, you have a copy thing here. That's new. I like that. But then also, what's the path? Path? No words about the path? What the hell is the path? Run this Solana program deploy command outputted by the cargo build BPF. Well, but I can't run that because, oh yeah, true. If I run that, I did do that before already. Then it outputs me the path. That's in some of my videos. Wait. February, good old times. So, there you have it. Okay, I did it with Anchor. And this did a cargo build BPF, target deploy, and then the SO file there. Yeah, not that far off. Well, let's do it manually. Yeah? So target debug and then the SO file. So let's just use this one. Solana program deploy this one. Wrong machine. Damn. I thought again this would be an easy video, but no. Okay, I guess we need to fix that thing with the cargo build SBF. Huh? What? Really? That's how easy that was? You copy 2 lines and... Okay, I take it. I take it. I'm not gonna complain. If I can fix it that easily. Also, I'm lagging because I'm installing in the background. Yeah. That's okay. Okay, so now cargo build SBF suddenly works because some dependency was not right. But that was more a Ubuntu issue than a Solana stuff issue, so I'm not gonna discuss that any further. Please don't ask me questions about it. I have no idea what I did. I just installed some stuff that I found on the internet because that's safe. Text. Let's see what's happening there. Saying nothing about some Solana program deploy. If I run the same thing again, we're finished. Okay, that was quick. Because we just did that. Now we have a release and we have a, you know what, I'm gonna look at this here. We have a target. In the debug, we have that. In the deploy, oh, there we have a key pair already created for us. And the sollocal.so, and that's what we're gonna need, I assume. Okay, cool. But that's already more helpful. We have the key pair and we have the... So let's check what the key pair would be. Solana address with target deploy and then key pair. ipfi. Now I could create a different file here. This is just one file that was created with the Solana keychain, a new one. I could be like Solana grind and put my file here, but ipfi is a nice name. I'll stay with it. ipfi kk. Let's stay with that and say Solana program deploy so local so. Boom. There we go. And that, wow, that is quick. Because we are on a local validator, you can pump out that transaction super quickly. if I were to do that, fun fact, on DevNet, same thing, then that would take a lot longer just to demonstrate. There's the first transaction, and then setting up. And now we need to... It wasn't that much slower. Apparently that file wasn't too big. Hold on, because I mean, it's not a big program. It just got 20 kilobytes. Okay. Okay. Cool. But then the program is deployed. Show. If I put the program ID here. Ah. That's the program ID. The owner is the BPF loader upgradable. Nice. Program data address, and that's the authority because I uploaded this. That's the balance. That's how much it costs in rent. I mean, the data account is here. Account and check this. Oh. Wow, there it does show me the data. Anyway, yeah, let's use this program. Let's do something. Come on. What did James intend for us to do now? Let's log everything for this program. And now we just need to actually perform a transaction. And we have a script here that just connects to localhost. Just a new transaction instruction with the program ID, and that's it. It's just an empty transaction because we don't need accounts, we don't need any instruction data. And then we sign this. Yeah, so far so good. I think I'm just gonna take this script. npm install. Okay, and then just npm start. And then we should see here. Damn it. Of course. Hold on. Wait. Of course, I need to change the program ID. Right, quit. Okay, maybe I just do it manually. Oh, there we go. That works. Now I'm airdropping one sol. And then it should send the transaction, and we should see it up here in the logs. There. We already saw it. That's the signature. Hello world, this is my first locally developed Solana program. And here we have the same signature, the HEN. Yes, yes, cool, that worked. Nice. We can locally deploy and run a Solana program. Nice. Right, now James gives us the challenge to create a new program and print our own message. Wow, no way. I mean, we did that. We did print our own. Look, it's right here. It's my message. I'm not entirely happy though. We have managed to compile our nice little, way too simple program locally. But for me to now develop a program here, what I want is some nice autocompletion. Do I here have my nice little macros and predefined things? Can I, for instance, say, I don't know, what did we do last time? If I had something like this, an account iterator, and then I get myself the user. Can I now? No, there's no freaking autocomplete for any of this. I have the type, it should have the type inferred. This is as useless as playground. Might as well stay in playground if I don't have autocompletion. So can we please get ourselves some autocompletion? It's completely stupid, it doesn't know anything. Rust-anazyzer. Because it's not Solana specific, it's just general Rust I need. some more help with that. And if Rust knows the crates, then it should be able to tell me all those things. Rust Analyzer extension. Control-Shift-X and then Rust Analyzer. Let's do it. Rust Analyzer. Install. It's now doing something down here. Look at that. The analyzer is analyzing. Loading. This already looks better. At least it's loading now. It's indexing Solana program. Yes, yes. Index all the Solana program stuff. Please do it. Yes. Yes, 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 please. Ah. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's already better. It's already better. But not totally. Because this is an unknown. So it now writes me stuff here that... Why account... Oh, of course. Because that's a different name up there. Haha, stupid. Yeah, that makes sense. So now it's an iterator over account info. That's better. And now if I say user dot... Still not better. We have a mutable iterator over account info. And we get the next account info. That is still unknown. Where does it know that from? We need to import that. Okay. Haha, there we go. Now it looks better. Now it even tells me this is... It didn't do that before. It doesn't use that. It doesn't use that. Okay, that's fair. And it also doesn't use that, but that's also fair. But now here it tells me it is an account info. This is going to be so much better to work with. Now if I say user dot... Yes, that's what I need. There we have the stuff. I can go directly on data dot, and then I have all the things that I can do. Oh yes, this is gonna be so much better to work with. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. See, and that's why I would prefer local development. Not so much because I need an internet connection or whatever, but because of those types and auto-completions. That Playground will get eventually, I assume, but it doesn't have it now. But my local development environment does have it, and that's so important to me. So you need to install the Rust Analyzer. Cool. That's the thing I take away for me today. I hope that you also learned something. I mean, we did go through some CLI basics, some deployment basics. I had some struggles with the SBF, but who didn't struggle with SBF in the last month, right? Ha, ha, ha. Too early? Anyway, next time we will be looking at PDAs again. Yes. PDAs and then CPIs, because we didn't do that from program side yet. And we're gonna have a deep dive into PDAs. And once those things are done, then we'll get to Anchor development. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, check out some of the old ones if you haven't seen them yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, wait. Bye-bye.